How you doing? Hey, I'm down here and I'm working on the Pro Mac 610. Guess what? I am working on the assembly. I'm a decent chunk into it, and I don't know why, but I never even thought to turn the camera on. So, hey, let me show you where we're at. So there she is, coming together. I got the handle one right now. I got to get a couple parts cleaned up. They're a little greasy, so I kind of stopped where I'm at. I'm gonna get some cleaning done. But I wanted to show you something. Ooh, nice. You know what's funny though? Like, I can feel the thump in the compression just in this. By the way, I put a plug in it just so I could feel it, and I can feel this thing's gonna have much better compression already. You can hear a lot of air seep past the rings, so this thing's probably not gonna run so hot until those ring, I'm sorry, it's a single ring piston. So you're probably not gonna see it perform very well until that ring is seated, because you can really hear a lot leaking past it. She's leaking pretty good past the ring, but she's gonna take some break-in for certain. Got some new gaskets in there. She's looking pretty. That's where I'm at right now. I gotta go clean some parts so I can keep working, but the assembly is moving forward. I'm pretty happy with this build so far. I mean, I haven't started it yet, so it hasn't technically blown up yet on me, right? It'd be a lot of work if that happens. I'll tell you what. It'll be a sad day for me if this thing doesn't run well or if it blows up. I put a lot of work into this build. Yeah, we're into the process. It took me a while to get this far just because of how tedious I've been with it. I think I put the bottom half together 3 or 4 times, just checking things and double checking and triple checking. It's definitely not putting it together in a hurry. I'm being extra cautious, if you know what I mean. Trying to make sure everything's in just right. I don't want any air leaks or anything like that. I want a good running saw once it's all back together. I do want to mention something. The Super XL-130 that you just saw some video on. You're going to see a cutting video coming up very soon. And guess what? I mentioned on the video how the saw is starving for fuel. Then another point, I mentioned about how it was being kind of finicky on the tune. And then for some stupid reason, when I was editing, I was thinking I needed to do a metering lever adjustment. I mean, if you know anything about saws, I just described a saw that has an air leak. And for some reason, had in my head that I needed to do metering lever adjustment. Don't know why. So on the video, you're gonna see me put up in words, yep, it needs a metering lever adjustment, and well, no, it has an air leak. I confirmed that today. Whenever I started it up today, I tilted it on its side and the RPMs went boop. And then as soon as I tilted her back normal, she shut off. Definitely an air leak. In fact, it actually appears to be on the flywheel side. I'll confirm that though, and put a new seal in. Hopefully it's not something else. I mean, there's a few spots that you could get an air leak from the flywheel side, so I'll check and see. It might be the seal. There's another plate in there that holds the bearing, and it's about yay big around. It could also be leaking at the gasket seal. Could also have it leaking at the base, cylinder base or something. So, I'll have to tear into it and figure out that. So you're gonna have a video coming soon of the saw cutting, and hey, it runs great. It does, but it does have an air leak that I need to solve. So, whenever you see me make that stupid mistake of saying it needs a metering lever adjustment, yeah, just ignore that to some harebrained guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, definitely an air leak, but I'll get that solved and we'll see how the saw runs after that. It should actually improve on torque, hopefully, when the air leak's fixed. So what you see in the video, the torque should come up when the air leak's fixed, because it is actually a big air leak. So hopefully the saw calms down a little bit from what you're seeing on the video. It's funny because I tuned that carburetor, and well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So when you're watching that video, just keep in the back of your mind that some idiot behind the camera was thinking meteor and lever adjustment when it was obviously an air leak. I'm allowed to make mistakes too, right? Now, what in the world could a chainsaw guy be planning to do with one of those? Is he nuts? Well, the saw actually has a few other issues as well that I need to take care of. I think the two main issues I need to fix are going to be the clutch, because I pulled, actually it's actually laying right here. I pulled this clutch cover off and put the chain brake one on. I'm going to have to put this one back on. The chain brake kind of sticks out over the front, and whenever I'm cutting, it hits the wood as I'm going through the wood. So I want to pull that off just because, you know, I don't need anything slowing down the cut, right? We're going for performance. So yeah, we're going to put this clutch cover on it, and we'll go from there. It'll probably save me a pound or two anyway, make it a little easier to maneuver. The other issue is the clutch itself. It doesn't matter how low I take the idle, and the chain just doesn't stop moving. So we definitely got a clutch spring issue going on. I'll have to figure something out, replace the clutch, or figure out something. It might even just have a busted spring, who knows? I have not looked at it yet, so we'll see. But I gotta fix those two things, and I got a few other things, like the throttle linkage is just a little too short. I'll have to figure something out to lengthen it out. But you're going to see some tweaks going on that saw as well. Now, I do plan on taking that saw to alcohol, but I cannot do that until after Sawfest. As far as I know, you have to run pump gas at Sawfest, unless you're in a category like the Wild Thing build, and then anything goes. And hey, when you say anything goes, you're going to see some really souped up, popped up Wild Things. I'll tell you what. You're going to see some crazy stuff there. So it should be quite entertaining to see a Wild Thing turn like that. Now, I did get my own Wild Thing, which you saw that, but that is, I'm pretty certain that's the Strato version of a Wild Thing. And I think I'm going to convert it to a non-Strato Wild Thing. It's going to take a bit of work. I've even been talking to Bellhopper about it. So it is possible, but it isn't quite involved. So I won't be able to get that saw done for the Sawfest show. So yeah, unfortunately, that will have to, wait for another day. In fact, Bellhopper thinks he even has everything I need for my Wild Thing conversion. So we might be getting some parts from Bellhopper to build our Wild Thing. It will be ported. I don't plan on porting it to extravagant numbers or anything like that. I just plan on making it, run better. But I want to do it with a Nicosil cylinder, and it's going to take some work to do the conversion. So I am going to do it anyway, just because that's the way I think this all should be built. She's going to be a pain in the butt, but I'm going to do it. Now, as far as Sawfest is concerned, the Echo 4910, built by Charles Briscoe himself. I am going to be making some changes to that saw. it has a tremendous amount of torque. So I'm going to rob some of that torque to increase chain speed. And I'm going to start out with a 325 8-pin sprocket. All right. And I also got some chain here. We're going to switch it over to full chisel chain, so that should help out as well. But, you know, Briscoe has mentioned this to me before. A 325 8-pin is nearly identical to a 7-pin 3/8 in diameter. Nearly identical. I think that was quite funny, you know what I mean? So, I guess I could put a 3/8 chain on the Briscoe saw, but for Sawfest, I cannot do that. I have to run 325 chain on that saw. I am very curious about that. You know what I mean? They are roughly the same diameter. So in theory, you would actually need to run a 325 chain on an 8-pin sprocket in order to get the same chain speed as a 3/8 7-pin. Huh. You know what I mean? So, makes you think, doesn't it? Right? So, there's a reason I'm mentioning this. So, now I want you to remember that. Because there's some stuff coming up on video. I want you to remember what I just said. You have to run a 325 8-pin sprocket in order to get the same chain speed as a 3/8 on a 7-pin. I mean, look at them. They're pretty much the same diameter. There is a difference, but I'm going to tell you the difference is very minimal, very small. But keep that in mind because there's some stuff coming up that I want you to remember that. Alrighty? But anyway, we got some interesting things coming up, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.